Yeah, I know it looked kinda cold, but honestly, it was way better. Compared to the week before when minus 25 was about as good as it got, this minus 8? Man, it was absolutely balmy. I had headed west just to see what I could find, but as I got closer to the mountains, the clouds built up and, well, it was still warm enough to kind of start melting the snow, but it started to get windy. Here at Gap Lake, it was bouncing around the rose hips and the willows and the birch trees. Love these birch trees. But the weather, though warm, wasn't all that pleasant, so I turned around. And I found these bighorn sheep. They were grazing along placidly until this one decided to be a jerk. So instead of continuing on up the Bow Valley, I went over to the Kananaskis side. Yeah, I'm glad I did. Over here at the Widowmaker on the Kananaskis River, I could see that there was ice actually underneath the water. So I threw on the GoPro to have a better look. Ice had formed on the rocks beside the river when the water level was low, but now, because of electrical generation downstream, the river level is up again. And the ice, well, it's kind of an inverse. Frozen on the bottom, wet on top. I was having a lot of fun photographing the ice both above the water and below. But I wondered what else I might find at the spring seeps along the road. So I went to O'Shaughnessy Falls. Pretty, but the snow was deep and I just didn't feel like going stumbling around. In addition to that, the wind that had backed off for a bit was starting to really blow. And on top of that, more snow was starting to fall. Well, for a couple of minutes at least. Then, suddenly, the sun came out. And the wind backed down. And then the clouds moved back in. And the wind dropped to just about nothing. At which point, it started to snow. It was all just a little bit confusing. Kind of like the entire day. It started out looking colder than it was. Now it was ending up, well, looking colder than it is. Confusing? Sure. But one thing is true. The weather has finally gotten better.